Excellent connection. There we go. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Okay, let's go live. I'm gonna give it a second, and I think we are live. Guys, for everybody who's seeing us or watching us or listening to us or whatever you're doing with us, hi. This is Citizen Odyssey. We have today Alexander from Envelop DAO. Alexander, hi, welcome to the show.
Hello, guys. Thanks for inviting.
For sure, man. We've been actually waiting for this for a while. We've planned this for a while. Usually it's not easy, but we made it.
Hmm.
We had some time problems as well. So hopefully, whoever is watching or listening to this, you are not suffering as much as Alexander suffering is right now, because for him it's very
Yeah, 1 a.m.
late. 1 a.m. I was gonna say late or early. I'm not sure, but
For me, late.
Alexander, do a little bit. Do you mind doing a little intro first of all, not about Envelope DAO, but first of all about yourself? Tell us, how did you get into blockchain, and how did you end up working with Web3? And then of course we'll go talk about Envelope DAO, but first let's talk a little bit about you for a couple of minutes.
Mm, so I had several attempts to get into crypto. First, when I heard about Bitcoin, was 2013. Of course, I thought it is a scam or some strange thing that nobody understands. And then second attempt was in 2017. I was told by one guy. He was also firstly was talking about how great Bitcoin is, that it can do one and another things. But I also didn't pay attention. But then I started to learn more deeply, and finally, this guy sent me the book of Vladimir Popov, the first book about ICO. I read this book, understand more, and saw the telephone of Vladimir on backside, called him and said, "Hey, Vladimir, my name is Alex. I got an idea for the project." And there was previously I connected my previous background in logistics and IoT with crypto, and told him. So he liked this idea, helped with a white paper, and then we started communicating more and more. And due to him, I also understood not the perfect side of the crypto, like everybody likes X 110, 30, 50, whatever, but also the ideology and the technological side. So that's in short. And previously, I used to work like customs officer, and then I swapped to IoT mobile application, and then to crypto.
Nice, man. I always love hearing stories to which I can connect, and of course to Vladimir Popov, Menaskop. It's a very good friend of mine, and we've been we've done a lot of crypto together. Let's just put it like that. We worked with a lot of projects together, helping out projects. Before I started my own project, before I started Citizen Cosmos, it was actually a few years before that. We were doing a lot of things together, and it was fun. So I definitely, to everybody who's listening, rest assured, if that guy was helping, was how to say, transgending Alexander into crypto, then Alexander is good values. That is definitely something I can assure, because if it's from Menoscope, it's like that. Okay, so you're in crypto. What? How does envelope happen? What happens? What is envelope? What is envelope? Why is and it has the name DAO right at the name, right? So it's kind of hints, but let's hear your description, please.
Yeah, if we start from the history, we had an idea about NFT project about late 2020. Also, as I mentioned, we got acquainted with Vladimir and the guys with whom we make the project, Maxim and another Alexander in 2017, 2018. And so we communicated always during this period from that time. And we saw that the hype was upcoming about NFTs. But actually, we remembered the anti hype and bear market of 2018. And we understood that anyway, this thing will happen with NFTs, 100% guarantee. So, our main idea at first steps was to ensure the minimal price of NFT. So our solution was that at first MVP, like NFT, collected part of sell price, put it inside, and thus forming minimal floor price for NFT, not just like we have on marketplaces, but if you got inside NFT 100 USDT, for example, there's no reason to sell it cheaper than 100 USDT, and you will it will never cost less. Of course, if Tether will not collapse or something other happens. And Luna, well, yeah, Terra. And next thing we invented was on-chain royalty, and now it's on-chain multi-royalty. We offered that, and now we did it in 2021. Now in 2022, we saw a lot of discussions about OpenSea, Blur, about the royalty side. So we offer this approach, and also I should say maybe it's not the best, but one of possible. And we think that due to this model, we can find the best solution for the community, for the creator, for the DAOs, anyone who supports, and make everything on chain. And we also shared our ideas on Animoca Brands demo day, and Yatsi also liked this approach, like one of the possible. So moving to this direction. And it were the starting idea. Then we focused on economical side. So we made from Envelop like a thing to make tradable portfolios, like you can put inside one NFT bench of assets. We now limit it up to 25 assets, so just to guarantee that it will fit into the block. And we continued it. Now we have the solution for trading vested allocations, like the tool for VCs and startups. And now we are developing, I think, the most interesting tool like bridgeless swaps and multi cross-chain liquidity, which is driven by an NFT. So I think we'll deliver this by the fall of this year. Except many use cases we also have for gamify, like non-pledge rentals, skill tokens. Also, we had soulbound tokens, but we had this option for soulbound non-transferable tokens in about last spring, and we didn't know how to name it. We first named it like simply non-transferable NFT, or and then Vitalik released his article. He said, "Oh, soulbound token, nice, nice." That's what we did. And also about last year, about the whole thing we make, we named Wrapped NFT and NFT 2.0, but then we read the report of McKinsey, and they researched the trends of Web3, and one of them was programmable digital assets, and that's what we make. If it's more scientific way to name.
So let's try to dig into this a little bit. So digital assets. So, but that's kind of more like you said, the scientific way. If I was to let's pretend, let's play a little game. I am going to be a 12-year-old boy.
Mm-hmm.
I have heard the word blockchain before. I have heard the word NFT before, but I've heard the word Bitcoin before. I probably heard of the word transaction. I don't know. You tell me. So I'm 12. Explain to me what you guys are doing.
So to say maximum simple, I'll use the explanation our CTO used to have when he introduced to our tech team what is envelope. So he said that here you got envelope and you can put inside money. You can close this envelope and maybe put a stamp that don't open until the exact date. And in simplest version, it's like that. You can make transferable bunch of assets and set up different locks. Locks on time, lock on event, or on block height, or maybe if you use our Oracle, you can even connect it to the results of some sports event, and then if something happens, one team win, you can open another. Sorry.
That is a
You can.
perfect. It's perfect. It's perfect. I love. Okay, let's stick with the solution. Why? Who is it for? Who is the um who would use it apart from, okay, so you had already, you said content creators, developers. Now let's go into a little bit of examples though. Why would a developer or anybody else would want to use an NFT to put the money and put a seal on it? What would be the reason for that?
So we'll start from creators. For them, as I mentioned, the main thing is on-chain royalty, and here they are guaranteed transactionally that they will get this royalty, the amount, and they can choose they want to receive it 1 year, 2 year, or eternally, and it's independent from any marketplace, whatever politics they will have or change. You just appoint that on every transaction you're gonna get your 20 USDT DAI, whatever token you choose. And if you don't get it, the transaction will be reverted, and so there's no way to not to pay your royalty, for example. Another thing for creators I like, and I want to convince maybe some creators here about this. I want to make a future drop of collection. For example, you are a creator and you have wonderful idea about your collection, but and you got your community who believes you, and you tell them that I got new collection in 1 year or maybe 1 year and a half. I will release it. I don't know what it will be, but my basic idea, like maybe crazy monkey surfing in Bali, and I'll draw something beautiful around this. And then you make empty NFTs, sell them to your community. You can even appoint a royalty if they speculate this. And then when you make some marketing activities and people are reselling empty NFTs, and at the point when you release this collection, you drop your ready NFTs into empty ones. So that's will have a new kind of reveal event, and I think it also could be interesting for them. And of course, there you can drop not only your one drop, or you can maybe some, drop inside some tokens that you collected while you were raising from your community. Why not? Also, you can
Nice.
try to find some. And also another part for creators, we are working about the thing that is named Unstoppable NFT. It's like a concept. We try to execute it different ways. Now we are developing it with Swarm. And the main idea is that we will have a kind of mm, metadata that will not be erased and will not be controlled by anyone. So you put it in some decentralized storage and you connect it with NFT, and NFT is programmed to pay for storing metadata, and thus it will not be erased even if not used. For example, you want that your book, your song, your film will be stored eternally for 100 years, and you can make a deposit inside NFT or program the NFT to collect the value and the pay for this. So I think this could be two main use cases for creators. Another big part of users would be, of course, projects, B2B solutions. For games, we issued the concept of skill tokens. It's, I think, the simplest one. So you got an NFT. Now we have different traits, different rarity or whatever, but they are rather static, or if they are dynamic, their dynamic entities are stored centralized way mainly. And here we often approach that you can appoint special tokens to be standing for power, defense, attack, whatever. And thus, one point your NFT becomes dynamic, customizable. If you're a project, you can find a new way of monetization, or even swap to a new model where you don't sell NFTs, you just drop NFTs for free, make a gameplay that at some point your community will need to buy these skills to pass new levels or be compatible with others, like we have now, free to play on mobile. Why not to make it in crypto space? So this, and also another case about non-pledge rental, where you also want to attract more users, but they don't want to buy your NFTs. You can offer them, for example, just take it, play for free, and share revenue. So if you are kind of a rich man or crypto Aussie, you don't have time to play some axis, whatever. You just list them to players and share revenues like passive income. You're gonna have also, we got one implementation with even two implementations of different mechanics about this stuff. It's for games. And if we focus on economic side, it's for DeFi, it's liquid farming option. So here the main benefit is that when you make different yield strategies and try to find the best ones, our tool gives you ability not to unstake and lose APY or spend transactional costs. You just got an NFT which you can easily resell with all the rights to claim rewards, to unstake tokens and all that stuff. So it's much easier to rebalance. Another, as I mentioned, the top, which we're going to deliver this year, it's about bridgeless swaps. So the basic idea is that you don't need a bridge, you just need to lock liquidity on both chains into NFTs, set up passwords, and exchange these passwords. And now we are searching the way to make it automatic and safe for this exchange, because we are in crypto where nobody lies nobody, so everybody is fair here. So we need it. And one of the simplest, but I think very nice and useful in crypto is soulbound tokens, dynamic soulbounds, like for transaction or reputation. So here it can be used by creators, by any community, absolutely. So never mind what kind of a project it is, and you just make your reputation model, mean this SBTs, and make the model why your community need to gain more points. And so the more points, the more benefits. So just a proof of skills, like it could be for HR projects as well, where in Web3 you just don't need to read any CVs. You just scan on chain, see the guy with SBT, which confirmed that he's a great developer. He delivered fundraising or great marketing for the projects, and then you can hire him, just messaging him through the tools we have to connect with via wallets.
Sorry. It's interesting. I have quite a few things to reflect on. I've been writing down some notes, but let's. I might not be in the right order which you were mentioning them, but I'm just gonna go with the things that kind of. First of all, crazy monkeys sailing on Bali. That sounds like a more Mid-Journey prompt that you would put in.
Yeah.
Now I really want to put it into Mid-Journey and see what it returns. Just saying that.
I did it today. So
what did you come up with? Yeah, I don't know. I'm joking. Let's not go into that. Wait.
No. So it's easy. Local guys here offered that they create a bot, which also can connect with Midjourney and ChatGPT, and they offered to test. And I decided to make some pictures and try to imagine some crazy whatever I could, and that came.
Crazy monkey sailing on Bali.
Space zone. I'll find maybe right now.
While you're looking for it, let's talk a little bit about royalties, because I can tell you for sure that as a content creator, it's a very big popular feature now, because it didn't exist on other places. On Cosmos, you have two platforms currently. One is Stargaze, one Omniflix, which offer royalties, and it's very cool because I have, as a project, I have a graphic designer, and she designs the NFTs for us. But of course, she's paid a salary to work a normal, it's a salary, grant, doesn't matter. But the point is that she kind of gives away her work. And but what we did is, of course, because the royalties is available, what we did is we put her address as a royalty, and every time those NFTs get sold, she still gets the royalty. So it's a very cool thing. I absolutely agree with you. Is there any special designs you can design royalties in? No, right? It's just like, okay, we have an address and somebody to send the royalty to, right? There is no innovations, I think, that you can do more about this, right?
Here you can appoint not one address but several ones.
Okay.
Because as when you imagine, like, we got several sites like creator, marketplace, community, and maybe I think they will appear like as we had the record labels, maybe we'll have some Web3 entities which will help new creators to make it, and also we communicate with several projects in music who's interested in. But they like this approach. But here we could have one difficulty when we sell such NFTs on marketplaces. We need the interface to call Web3 to pay for these transactions, and sometimes it could be difficulties to connect with API. But as a kind of middle solution, we can appoint that there would be a special smart contract NFT, which will be the only address which receives the NFT, and it distributes according to proportion which gets inside it. So we can also
makes sense
combination.
It would make perfect sense, because as you say, there might not be one party interested, but several parties interested with different gradations. The next question I had for you from what you were saying is, you were talking about like future development where you don't need bridges currently. where are those tokens stored? For example, if I want to put one Bitcoin into my NFT, where is that Bitcoin stored? And is it wrapped Bitcoin? Is it like, how does it work? Could you talk a little bit more about it?
For this to work, we need a primitive of NFT on chain and something like smart contracts to execute. Because if you say about directly Bitcoin, that's not possible. But wrapped Bitcoin possible, and these coins will be stored at the user's wallet. And so here the main thing is that we don't have centralized liquidity pools which can be hacked, and we'll lose all the millions which we have there. It's these pools are decentralized and they appear on the demand. So it's just very simplified, but we are breaking our heads how to deliver it and make it easily usable. Because now you can also find in our docs, we got an explanation how you can test a kind of POC of this concept in our docs. So like cross NFT, you can go to our Envelop.is, find the docs, and in search you can type in cross NFT, and there you will see the manual how you can check it
Nice.
out, how it works.
Nice. Because this is important, because a lot of people sometimes, they, it's not to underestimate what you guys doing, but a lot of people, I think, underestimate wrap tokens, and sometimes they're like, after they did it, they're like, oh, but it's not real. So far, we didn't invent teleportation, so
Yeah, and also this week our advisor Vladimir Popov also made an experiment. He made an NFT that he made pools in Polygon and Binance, and then he minted a cross NFT that is in Ethereum and is in charge of this liquidity in two different chains.
That's pretty cool, actually. It's a very good use case. It's a very interesting use case for maybe what's the right word for not for asset management, for specifically, I think for asset, for me anyways, or for DAOs, for like cooperatives maybe as well, right? That want to share something, rights or money.
And also for asset management companies, it's a nice tool. But if we previously said about benches of assets, but they can be assumed that like indexes. And when I've been to Web3 Festival in Hong Kong, I talked with several months, and these guys from traditional finance looked the way for their clients to make easier gateway into crypto. And such a tool which is really familiar for everyone who's like in traditional like S&P, DJI, and whatever we have indexes, and they can make for their clients. And we're also discussing with several ones, so this can be done. And here we got not like an index like contract, but every index contains all the underlying assets inside, and special rules to how it behaves when transferred or stored, whatever.
You also mentioned oracles, and oracles are a touchy subject in Web3, right? I mean, they are not exactly decentralized. So, what is the architecture of the oracles that you use inside Envelop DAO, or do you use APIs of other oracles, or what do you guys do?
We use our own Oracle, so our tech team tried at start ready-to-use solutions, but they were excessive for us and rather expensive. So we did our own for our own purposes. Now we have Oracle in Ethereum, Binance, and Polygon, because to support it in all 13 chains where the protocol is way too expensive. So we just
13
focus on
chains.
Yes.
I did see in your docs a lot, but I didn't count. But 13. Wow, well done, guys. Sorry to interrupt you, but go on. Sorry.
Yeah, and also non-EVM. Non-EVM is a real pain, especially with Neo,
Can
it was,
imagine.
and Zilliqa, Vax. Yeah. And so we got this Oracle, and in our roadmap, we also have a concept of decentralized oracles where they can interconnect and also work in our DAO. Like as we are DAO, also there will be positions for third-party oracles, which will make our Oracle work more kind of adjusted, more fair, and more visible for the community.
Good timing. With the motorcycle. Well, I was gonna ask you. Sorry, but by the way, first of all, a comment. You said non-EVM paints are a chain, but you said you're already working with Near. I'm curious. Considering we don't concentrate on Cosmos solo, but considering, we are called Citizen Cosmos, and a lot of our work revolves around Cosmos. I would say the primary work. There is a lot of talk about Near implementing IBC on almost on a protocol level. I don't know how it will look. I don't understand how it can be done right now, but I'm curious whether while working with Near, have you come across anything on news on that, or any touches on development on that, on IBC being implemented in Near?
So we haven't heard about this when we connected with Near, but with Near it was a kind of rather interesting thing while we passed the grant. So two first milestones we did that we delivered an Aurora in Near, as you know, EVM. But on the third milestone, we were told that the guys, no way, you need to make on Near, and we were just surprised for two milestones. It was okay, and then we had to spend much more time to deliver it in Near protocol itself. And now we've closed this grant. Now our protocol available there, and for the projects we are working with Near Foundation to find the best projects to collaborate and to integrate our solution there. So,
And
but
are you planning?
about IBC,
Yeah.
about IBC, we haven't heard from them.
Are you planning to work with IBC at all? Do you have plans yourself to implement IBC?
Yes, there are plans, but not this year, because this year we mainly will focus on the chain that we already delivered and increase functionality. Also, we get one grant, but now I can say, as the guys asked to coordinate with them any marketing activity, but we really had first tranche from them, one of new chains.
I think one of the
Language.
reasons I'm asking is, to be honest, like I'm trying to think of always where there is a lot of interesting things in IBC that I think could help Envelop to develop, because especially with Oracle work, and especially around different things like royalties that are not yet implemented on other chains, but is already implemented there. There is a lot of innovation there, and I'm pretty sure that not that I'm pushing you, I'm just saying this is more like me putting my Cosmos hat on, and hey,
Yeah,
come to Cosmos.
I've heard that there are also EVM projects that are building upon Cosmos. So
There is
for us, I think like
Atmos.
with Near, it will be the easiest way to come into Cosmos network. So as about Atmos, we tried to connect with them, but they hadn't responded. Also, we had.
I can help you. We validate Atmos. We're one of the like we're top with 60 number 60, I think, right now currently on the chain. Not to the point of that, but we've been with Atmos and watching them since the very beginning. I have a lot of contacts with the developers. If you want, I can try, and with the team, I mean,
Yeah,
can try put you
it would be nice.
together. Okay, let's talk about after the stream. Okay, let's get back to our. I was gonna say our Barani. That doesn't make any sense. If you speak Russian, it did. If you didn't, guys, it was a Russian joke, inside joke. I want to talk a little bit about DAOs and Web 2, and this is gonna be more, I guess, abstract or philosophical. But of course, feel free to be more Alexander from DAO envelope and not abstract. It's up to you. There is a lot about on your website, a lot of like when you go on your website, at least and by the way, guys, for everybody again watching this and now, or probably most of you watching the recording, envelope without the e.is, and you're on the website. Of course, it will be under this the video already, not on the live, of course, not now, but when it will be the recording. Anyways, when you're on your website, at least me, I don't know if it was me, but there is a strong feeling of a highlight of the word Web3. Like, it's kind of like, and I don't mean just the main page. Like as you go, you see a lot of it, kind of thing. Now, I don't know why, but one of the first things, maybe this this person who likes to disagree. So I'm going to be a little bit devil's advocate now. It's not about disagreeing. It's I'm interested in your opinion. I've noticed that a lot of people underestimate how many Web2 tools DAOs actually use, especially, for example, for communication, right? I mean, a lot of the times you go on I don't know, so somewhere and you see like a forum, just a normal forum with one admin there, and they discuss all their governance proposals, and then they're like, I'm not talking about Snapchat, of course, but just normal forum, and then they talk about, oh, we have a DAO, but we're discussing all of our, like. So what is your thoughts about DAOs using Web2 tools, and is it something that we have to go through? Is it something that will change in your opinion, and maybe how it will change also in your opinion? Sorry for too many questions.
So I don't see something bad about using Web2 tools. Of course, you need to um, go steadily to Web3 tools. Sometimes they lack usability, or sometimes they are not as well delivered as Web2 ones. But I think that it should be steadily made, not just at once. For example, I talked with guys from Swarm, from one of their teammates, and he described me how they try to be maximum decentralized and use maximum decentralized tools. And he said, oh, it's very nice, it's totally Web3, but all the decision-making process and communication becomes way too hard, and it consuming more time. Of course, if you are about principles and you're like a Web3 hardliner, of course you need to use only them, and there is plenty, much more than 1, 2, or even 4 years ago. It's can be compared. Uh, I see that the main thing is about decision making and the philosophy of DAO. So how you act, how you develop, how you track new teams and build new products. Of course, I think, in my personal opinion, you should use the tool that gives you maximum output, not just consuming your time. If you're a great performer on Web3 tools, it's wonderful. But if it's really painful for you and you can make it, it's no way. And of course, we're in crypto, but for me personally, I spent lots of time in Telegram. It's a kind of most common messaging tool, and now I'm noticed also that previously there were mainly Russian crypto community in Telegram, but now we see that Asians and Americans even join the Telegram. And when we travel on different conferences, previously Telegram was something strange. Everybody will offer you WhatsApp, but now everybody has Telegram, and it's QR. They always use like a screensaver to make it the faster connection. So I think it's about usability, and everybody thinks about how to attract more Web2 users to Web3. But when we have easier user experience, it will happen to me.
It's a good point. I also like. I gotta be honest with you. I still gonna like dig a little bit, but I have to be honest. Like with my personal opinion, when people talk about adoption, to me, adoption, when like people say to me, when will my grandmother use Bitcoin? And I say, well, that moment will happen when you're gonna be the grandmother. That's when grandmothers will use Bitcoin. When our generation will grow older, and I'm talking about like 30 plus maybe right now, this is when everybody's going to use crypto, not necessarily Bitcoin. Regardless of that, though, I'm still curious as to whether you think that, for example, for such things as governance and stuff like that, because I have seen chains actually not pass. I have seen absurdity. Where on a specific chain there was a proposal on a normal forum, just a normal forum hosted on a single server somewhere, to do an on-chain proposal to use only that forum for governance. But to me, that's absurd. I mean, I understand the whole usability thing, and I've just said myself, so I'm kind of contradicting myself. But I'm curious, like, how can we avoid that? Because to me, it just seems like it defeats the object. I mean, it's not about hardcore anymore. It's about, but I don't want that. That doesn't make sense. It seems like the same kind of mistakes that we did in our own governance, and now we're trying to put those mistakes into on-chain governance. You don't have that feeling when you see those things.
Yeah, and so it's normal for people when they try to implement new technologies for old style management and vision. And now we also have such a problem mainly because it's hard, especially for the people who are 50, 60 years to understand this decentralization principle. They say, why do I need this? I want all the company to be owned by myself and get all the profits, but they just don't get the idea if it's distributed, it will bring you much more profits in general. And there are top guys like even CZ and Yatsi who also multiple times saying this idea. Of course, they got centralized entities as well, but they try to move steadily, and I think at some point they will go to this point. And it's hard to change your mind even for young people, because when you got to used to the same thing that repeated multiple times, and they show the effectiveness, and at some point comes the guy saying you did everything wrong, you need to make it decentralized, you need to use these tools, governance like that. They still they think that you are psycho, but when in 5 years, for example, it become normal, they understand that you weren't a psycho, but you were just a rather far foreseeing person.
It's actually a very interesting point. I have seen many people in cryptos labeled not psychopaths, of course, but close to that for being early. It's interesting. But let's get back a little bit to Envelop DAO. What was, considering that it's not a new project, it has an history, right? What for you personally was, as the founder, right, was the most difficult stage that you really had to, like, gather all of you together, or you still didn't have it? Maybe it's still ahead, and maybe you're still waiting for that to happen. How did you deal with that stage?
So on different stages of the project, there were hard things. For example, when we just started, it was hard to understand, not just to understand how to name it and to formulate the product vision, because to be a kind of a protocol, or to be just a D app or whatever. So, and to understand what the problems you're gonna solve for the market, and at the first stage. Now, at current points, the harder thing is to deliver to the people their bonuses that they have using these tools. And for example, it used to be with DeFi in 2017 or 18 about Bankroll. Everybody just couldn't understood, well, why do we need this? And then some years pass, and we see Uniswap, 1inch, and multiple others. And here I am sure like the same situation about programmable assets, and what we are communication with the community and with the projects, and they like, but they just may be afraid to use something new. But as we see, everybody's searching for new solutions, and when you offer them tons of these solutions, they say, oh, okay, we'll do a like old school way. Like even here in our market of crypto, it's also a common thing about the people try some, to try something new, and kind of brave ideas.
I totally understand that, but it's I think it's definitely, I can agree with you personally on that, that it's been one of the most difficult parts. And it's funny how I turn to, I don't know if you do this, but lately I've started turning, well, of course, to ChatGPT, but I've started trying to um, get him to describe, you know, um, from my perspective, exactly what you talk about, the visions and all that. And it seems he's much better than me. I don't know if you use a lot of, but do you use, by the way, a lot of AI in your own work, in your own working day?
Uh, I use it, but I just have a kind of a point for myself to use it more, because I understand that it can give much more automation
Mhm.
and much more creativity when you're just thinking about it. just cannot formulate the idea, just ask ChatGPT and he generates something. Maybe it's not the perfect idea, but it can here give you another point of thinking, and this one.
I think for envelope, one of the most obvious thing, is like think of a programmable asset. They talk about the prompts are the most harder things with AI. So come up with an idea of a viral programmable asset that has, and carry on from that. You never know. You never know.
I use not ChatGPT, but I use DALI, for example,
Dale.
when we make presents inside the team and to our partners, for example, for birthdays and other events. So I just generated graphics in DALI, then mint it an NFT on our minting platform, station this metadata, then wrapped it with assets and put up a log, for example, for a happy birthday for our teammate, and he couldn't open it before his birthday comes. So this is the way how you can give a unique presence for anyone and make this present valuable and transfer to them and make the some conditions when they can open it or they cannot open it. For example, you can make it in SBT, put their money and say, oh, my friend, it's all for you, but you just can watch and not touch.
Just watch and touch. I like it. A couple of last questions, kind of. I think they will take us exactly the time that is left, but still, I'm gonna ask it. I know you might not like this question as an NFT platform founder, but I'm gonna go in ahead and ask it. I think.
Yeah.
Now
Yes.
I'm gonna be devil's advocate. Like I said, I'm a content creator more, so I work with NFTs, Citizen Cosmos. I personally, Serge work with NFTs, Citizen Cosmos works with NFTs. So we love NFTs. For me, NFT is DNA on the blockchain. This is what I've been saying since 2017, kind of thing. But still, a lot of people out there do not understand NFTs. Now, I work personally quite a lot with art. I like art. I mean, like not digital art, but I also like digital art. But in fact, if I would turn the camera right now to there, you would see one work in progress and oil as we speak and different things. But it's not the point. I have noticed as somebody who works with it and tries to get to that it's not easy to break that ice barrier, even for people who are into art. I mean, royalties, by the way, is a very good thing that works. I'm like, well, royalties, okay, that really works. What's in your opinion, though? What would you say to those people who, you know, kind of look at NFTs and they go, I'm gonna give you. Sorry, I'm sorry for taking it long, but I'm gonna give you one more example. I was in a festival and I was on a festival in the mainland of Portugal. I was there for a week. It was last year, and I was talking to some guy for some days, and we didn't talk about this. It was a festival, and then at one point, I asked him, "So what do you do?" And he said, "Oh, I sell GPGs." I was like, "You
Mhm.
sell GPGs? What do you mean?" "I'm a GPG trader." I was like, "What does it mean?" I says, "Oh, I'm very successful. I make tens of thousands of euros per month, and um, I buy monkeys in the one." And then he was talking about, and I was like, "But why do you describe it like that?" I was very curious as to, all of my inside was boiling. I was like, "What the fuck? What are you saying? You
Mhm.
sell GPGs? It was like, "Oh, it's just this." And the thing is, I got introduced to a bunch of people like that who this is their work, full-time job. They sit, they trade NFTs, they speculate on whatever they are, but they really not just not under they don't want to understand. They don't want to understand, and they have this barrier. How do you approach this audience, or do you at all approach this audience?
Um, I think that this audience have nothing with the creators. It's just normal speculators, or like we have in crypto. So previously they speculated tokens. These guys found their niche in speculating NFTs or GPGs that as he named them. He understand that it's a shitty picture which he can buy for 1 ETH and sell for 2 ETH, and for him it's nothing more. Or just he find arbitrage between different platforms. So it's not good, not bad. It's kind of part of the market. But if you are a creator, you and digital one, for example, or maybe the traditional, you just find a new way to deliver your artworks to the people and make them digitally unique and you're welcome to use Envelop to add your royalties, maybe put some assets inside, make some kind of programmability like about unlocks or collection of value, distributing value, or maybe, as I mentioned, somebody of the creators make the future drops of NFT. I think it would be nice. Why not? And these guys, of course, they will be everybody buy, everybody sell. So it's crypto, and I don't, uh, I don't see here something real evil. It's
Hmm.
it's always been that it will never stay. But just don't get crazy. Don't buy from this guy this bullshit they say for like these transparent stones. You remember? You remember these
Yeah.
transparent stones for
Yes.
hundreds of
Yes.
thousands.
Yes. Millions, millions, millions. There was even millions at one point.
It's totally gambling. Like
Wow.
you can go to casino, but
Crazy.
I think you'll get more emotions.
Crazy. I agree. It is part of what it is, but like, when you're there and you're like, you're like somebody like yourself, or like you understand what I mean. Somebody who dedicates their life to working in this, and then somebody's like, oh, I'm just a GPG seller, and then you try to talk to them, and they're like, without telling them what you do or anything like that, you try to reason, but it doesn't work all the time. And sometimes it's like, okay, guys. I have another question for you, Alexander. It's a question that I have seen many people try to solve. And I personally, well, I can think of semi solutions, but not straight headed solutions. So I would like to hear your opinion. A lot of people, and in the NFT world, a lot of a lot of content, sorry, creators, not NFT creators, are especially a lot of people who create something with their hands. It could be like, I don't know, like a portable ashtray, or
Hmm.
anything, I don't know, some device, whatever, some jewelry. They don't know how to connect that to NFT. Um, do you, as Envelope, or do you by yourself have any ideas how to solve this, or does Envelope offer any ideas how to solve this, or is that even possible?
I think the simplest way is when you sell your asset, just to make. If you don't know how to make by yourself, it's will cost some not a big amount, or maybe there are the project that will let you to have your own smart contract and mint your own NFTs. It could be SBT or not SBT, and you will deliver it like the proof of origin for your goods. I see this way, like when you sell digital and just NFT. And NFT here can stand like an certification, but if you're going deeper, like you have real thing and digital copy, like 3D model, it could be even more interesting. But here also you gotta solve the problem of second buyer. For example, when you resell the asset, you can also prove that it was original one, and you can easily show your next buyer or next collectioner that check the smart contract that the real creator he minted these NFTs. It's, for example, limited edition. It's nice proof for them.
It makes sense, but it's very hard to kind of put it into the heads of content of not content, but I don't know, jewelry creators. Still hard to overcome this. Yeah, but I don't know. I guess people expect
But I see
teleportation.
several projects a lot about jewelry, wine, different, even for real estate now and luxury goods.
Yeah,
We see
yeah,
lots of brands coming into crypto, and they see this use case to be one of the top ones.
definitely, definitely. I'm just curious to see like proper implementation, like a big market, and waiting for which implementation is actually going to the throne kind of thing. I'm curious about that. Usually, it's something unexpected.
I think here, like for luxury and the unique goods, it's the best idea. Then we have RFID or any other stuff. But in China and Shenzhen, they will make you any RFID, any check from every country, and you'll have to your Louis Vuitton, no, not different from the one you can buy at
Yes.
top shops. But here, when you got a smart contract address, which you cannot somehow fake, then and you, if you're Louis Vuitton, for example, you officially point on your site, go there, check our contract, and check your ID, and be happy owner.
Yeah,
of the
true.
world.
Okay, last kind of question to sum it all up. I know it's late and getting later for you. I'm sorry about that again.
But it's
What?
nice.
It's nice. I'm drinking tea and I'm
We
still
have,
going.
yeah, poetry. It's nice. It's nice here.
What is the plans? I don't mean like full roadmap, but what would you? It's not like last question, but it's kind of the last big question. What can people expect? Why am I as a content creator? I mean, you've mentioned a lot of reasons, of course, but without doing a sales pitch or more like I guess a roadmap kind of pitch, why would content creators want to check out Envelop DAO? Why they want to join Envelop DAO? And what is in store for them? What waits for them? What other features that you're working on, guys?
Uh, to start from the simplest, we got a wonderful minting platform where you have no difficulties to mint your NFT with your metadata you created. So, and especially in chains like BNB or Arbitrum, there also is our minting platform. And me personally, when I was searching for when tried to mint on BNB, I always found some marketplace and other stuff that I had to fill an excessive number of different forms, make there were complications. But here it's by the simplest way, and it's point number one. Second point, as I mentioned, the main one about on-chain royalties, and another stuff you can make your assets, your piece of art, like a kind of an asset that grows in price on every transaction, or for example, when you got partners or maybe some contracts with your marketing contracts, you can share their tokens, for example, with your community, with the owners of this NFT, and they, for example, can have retro drops inside your artwork. And I'm sure that they will like this ability that they, at some point, they can increase the value, not just because you're a great creator, but that something happens in crypto. There are different the kind of I forgot the word how it say, like collaborational programs with different brands and different creators. They can maybe share their community base and make some drops inside existing works, not like retro drops to the wallet, but to the exact work, and you'll have a kind of a portfolio from one work, or the creator that you create one piece of art, and then you seek out a series of collection, and then you can maybe some have special side collections to drop for the owners of your first release or afterwards. So here it's just like to think what you want to do to make it more not great only from the kind of creative design and how it looks like, but how it behaves, how it changes, how it's maybe a kind of evolution of your work. You can all that is available on Envelop protocol, and you can go to our Medium and our blog. We describe the tools in our docs how you can execute it, and also there's fine tool about giving presents for any events, Christmas, Saint Valentine Day, or any other day. Why not? To start from this, it's everybody like to get presents.
You need to partner with Etsy or something like that. I think
Yeah,
that would be the big win case for NFTs and for everybody else. It was like if somebody like Etsy or oof,
it's
yeah.
nice. It's nice idea. I'll write them when I wake up.
It's better. It's better. No, it's better to write now because then you will not. If you write now, though, you'll be like, "Oh shit, I really did it." Okay, guys. Again, regardless, I'm presuming that most people are watching this and recording. So please, if you're interested in what Envelope is, there is actually the website. It's envelope.is, envelope without the E. Over there, you can find, Alexandra just mentioned the blog. You can find the links over there. There is a big button there that says blog app. Try out the app. Is there anywhere else, Alexander, people can and should join if they want to explore Envelope further?
So you can join our Telegram, our Twitter. There we post also my personal Twitter. Sometimes I post some side content from events and other stuff I see in crypto news. Um, and then the best thing, you can just go to start from the simplest to mint your NFT. Go to our minting platform and use any AI to generate designs and have a fun with this. And you can go to Polygon. It will cost you cents, and you will not spend lots of funds like if you want. But of course, if you want to spend lots of money, go to Ethereum.
If you want to spend money, send it to us. Send it to me and Alexander. Go half half. And, yeah,
To the
mint
NFT,
your.
and we'll split.
Yeah, there we go. There we go. We can put it in the NFT. Okay, Alexander, thank you very much for first of all being here so late for yourself. Thank you for answering all the questions. Again, for everybody watching this in recording, all of the links should be already under the video. If there is anything you're missing, go on Envelop without the e.is. So Envelop is website, and you will find a lot of things that we just spoke about with Alexander there. Other than that, thank you very much, man.
Thank you. Thank you.
So just don't hang up yet. I'm gonna stop the stream, and then I will